It's an overcast Tuesday morning ahead of midweek racing at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Hello from me, Rouvaun Smit. Thanks for joining me on A Sure Thing. Now, I do hope the lighting is okay because we'll be battling to find the exact spot in order for you guys to see me because of the unseasonal rain that we've been experiencing intermittently during the course of the morning. And in fact, there's rain forecast right through till the weekend. But it's typical Cape Town. It's supposed to be summer, but Cape Town once again showing it's like a baby. If it's not full of wind, it's wet. So conditions should be perfect for tomorrow. The sting should be out of the ground and even better underfoot conditions for the first Grade 1 meeting come this Saturday. Tomorrow will be, of course, the last race meeting that will be held on the winter track with a short 450-metre straight. And as of Saturday, we're on the summer track with a long 600-metre straight. And that will, of course, be the track that we'll race on right through until the first winter rains come in May, June of next year. First race on the program gets underway at 12:20. Make sure 5 minutes before that you've got your Hollywoodbet punter selections on. It's free of charge, and if you can pick all 9 winners, take the bet slip. You could be in for nice big cash incentives if you can find all 9 winners on the card. First race on the program is a Work Riders Maiden Plate where 10 runners will contest race 1 over 1,000 metres, and I do think Louis Burke and Justin Snaith could make this 2 from 2 in the Work Rider series. I think Louis is on the right one. He rides number 4, Elsinore. I like the way this horse improved from first to second start. I think there's more improvement to come. He'll know the horse well because he is one of the work riders in the Snaith Yard. So Elsinore will be my first choice selection. Ahead of number 2, Mrs. Shackleton from the Mike Stewart Yard. Now, I'm not too familiar with the work rider that is on board Mrs. Shackleton because Mike Stewart obviously trains on the other side of the mountain at a private establishment. So this would probably be one of his work riders and no doubt have been working Mrs. Shackleton, who contested races against winners in her last 2 starts. Back against maidens, I think the biggest danger in this race. For third, I'm going with number 8, Fencing Captain. One can never ignore William Bambiso in these work riders races. He's an accomplished work rider. Yes, the horse has been costly to follow, but has recently been gelded. And then for fourth, I'm going with number 7, Cosmic Cliffs. I think there's scope for further improvement. 4, 2, 8, and 7. Those are my numbers in the opener. We move on to race 2, which is the Cape D Stakes, where 7 runners will contest this 1,100-metre contest. And I think a case can be made for each and every one of them. In fact, I've written comments next to each and every one of them. By number 1, Gravity, I wrote, drop in the ratings. 2, Explicit Content, I wrote, Fourie knows well, good to see him retain the ride. 3, Lover's Lane, always there or thereabout. 4, Electric Fields, ultra consistent. 5, Try Me, could get involved in the finish and cause an upset. 6, Tambourine Man is a speedy sort. Number 7, Rugerin, much improved last run. A repeat of that brings him into the reckoning. So a case can be made literally for each and every one of them, and we don't want to go field. I needed to narrow it down, and I'm going with the Harold Crawford, Michelle Ricks trained number 4, Electric Fields. Nicely weighted at 53 kilograms, will be running on strongly in the closing stages, and will be doing its best work late. So I'm going with 4, Electric Fields, ahead of 3, Lover's Lane, 2, Explicit Content, and 6, Tambourine Man. Race 3 on the program is a maiden plate for 3-year-old fillies to be run over 1,400 metres. And here, again, a case can be made for quite a few of them. I needed to narrow it down, and I decided I'm going to go with number 4, Alex Miller. This one was hanging out in the closing stages last time out. I do think it's a jockey strike. With Aldo de Meyer now on board, Alex Miller, I think this horse will be doing his best work late. Stayed on when third last time out over the course and distance, and I think has got the scope to actually go all the way and unsettling the winner's enclosure. For second, I'm going with number 3, White Waters, who's been a model of consistency of late, should be involved in the finish. 7, Blind Ambition, is the horse I'm going for third. That one is equipped with blinkers, so that I think will do the trick in getting a little bit more out of 7, Blind Ambition. And for fourth, I'm going with number 8, Tap Shoes, who disappointed in the last, but I think can improve with Richard Fourie on board. So 4, 3, 7, and 8 are my numbers for race number 3. Race number 4 on today's card, again, another tricky contest, a maiden plate for 3-year-olds where 12 runners will contest the 1,600-metre event. And, I sort of sat long and hard thinking, do I go with Red Dawn, who's got blinkers fitted? Do I go with a Freak? But in the end, I decided that my first choice selection is going to be number 7, Native Ruler. I thought that this horse certainly has got what it takes to go on better. The form line of that last start has been franked. JP van der Merwe for Justin Snaith. I think further improvement can be expected. So 7-8 of Ruler is going to be my first choice selection, ahead of number 2, A Freak, who also showed good improvement last time out. The form line of that race has also been franked by the horse that finished third that day. So there's lots to like about A Freak's chances as well. For third, I'm adding in Grant van Niekerk's ride for Justin Snaith, number 11, Gran Canaria. Also, that was a very, very promising debut. Will improve with the benefit of that run under the belt. So that one needs to go into the equation. And then 1 Red Dawn, who's fitted with blinkers. I think the blinkers could possibly do the trick here on number 1 Red Dawn. So 7, 2, 11 and 1 are my selections in race number 4. Moving on to race 5 on the program, which is a class 5, 10 runners to face the starter at the 1800 meter mark. Another race I thought that we need to sort of really look long and hard at, because there are more than 1 or 2 that we may need to put in as far as the exotics is concerned. In the end, I sort of narrow it down to number 1, Orzak, who was a gutsy winner of that last start over 1600 meters. I think we'll enjoy the step up to 1800. Yes, did get a 6-point penalty for winning that race, but from pole position, I think that Orzak could take a power of beating, will have the run of the race. For second, I'm going with number 5, To the Moon and Back. Solid form. Grant van Niekerk is back on board, drops in class, and I think should be involved in the shake-up. For third, I'm going with number 4, Nali, who kept challenges at bay all the way to the wire when he won his last start, and that form line has been franked, so that's another one that needs to be taken into cognizance. And then for fourth, I'm going with number 10, Mahandis, who's a kilo better off at the weights with To the Moon and Back from their last meeting, so that should bring Mahandis into the equation as well and closer to the action. So 1, 5, 4 and 10 are the numbers I'm going for in race number 5. Race 6 on the card is a Cape D Stakes, where 12 runners will face the starter at the 1400 meter mark. And this is a race where I narrowed it right down to one runner who I think probably stands out in this race, and that's number 5, Veronique. This horse has got solid form, and I think will be very competitive because it has dropped to a rating where it really is showing that it's on the right mark to be involved in the finishes. Will love going back over 1400 meters, and to me, rates the horse to beat in race number 6. For second, I'm going with number 6, Now the Boss, who's holding form, has had a drop in the ratings, definitely one to finish in the money. For third, number 9, Hang Out the Stars, who's also dropped to a nice competitive merit rating, has been ultra consistent, must be included. And for fourth, I'm going with number 11, Gold Index. Robert Carty, riding for Lunga Gele. Much improved, much better than I think last start, and I think this one has got upset potential in this particular race. So 5, 6, 9 and 11 are my numbers in race number 6. Moving on to race 7, it doesn't get any easier. I wrote here, plenty with chances in this class 4 fillies and mares to be run over 1400 meters in a field of 9 runners will face the starter. So where do we go? Oh, this wasn't easy. I mean, if you look at number 2, Your Lekkerding, had a merit rating drop. Form line has been frank. For Easy Living, also had a merit rating drop, has dropped in class. Third run after a rest. You know, I had to sort of narrow it down. We've got number 6, Kawakazi, having his peak run, but I eventually decided to go with number 9, Family Power, as my first choice selection in this race. Grant van Niekerk for Greg Enion. I think Family Power is holding form nicely. That was a good last start over the course and distance when finishing second. Grant van Niekerk retains the ride. He knows this horse well, and I think will be doing his best work late. He knows the horse well, despite the wide draw of 9, will be in a perfect position when turning foam and producing this horse at the right time. So I'm going for 9, Family Power, as my first choice selection, ahead of number 8, Little Miss Pink, who is always there or thereabout and cannot be ignored. For third, I'm going with number 1, Swazi Tech, a winner on debut, and that form line has been franked by 3 horses already that has come out and won it, and this horse can be anything. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see this horse follow up with another victory. And of course, natural improvement is expected, so I'm going with that one for third. And for fourth, I'm going with number 5, miraculous. So 9, 8, 1 and 5 are the numbers in race number 7. We move on to race 8, another tricky contest I wrote here. This is a KB Stakes where 10 runners will contest it from the 1,000 meter mark. And I'm not going to sort of dwell and tell you exactly how I'd done all the research, because I've done a bit of homework on this, made notes, etc. And I'm going with number 3, Luhamba Pambile, as my first choice selection. Corne Offer is riding for Gareth Van Sale. I thought that was a very, very nice comeback win when contesting the Need for Speed Sprint, a non-black type event. And that feature race form, to me, is good enough to win a race of this nature. So I'm going with Luhamba Pambile as my first choice selection, ahead of number 9, Tenango. That was an eye-catching last win that Tenango put up, and I think in this kind of lineup is a big runner, could possibly give Luhamba Pambile the biggest cheek in the rundown to the wire. For third, I'm going with number 5, All About Al, who's got solid form and comes in with a nice galloping weight of 54 kilograms. And for fourth, I'm going with number 7, Mojo Man, who's having his peak run in this race. So 3, 9, 5 and 7 are the numbers in the penultimate race, which takes us on to the lucky last. And I thought quite a weak ending to the day. I sort of toyed with the idea of where to go, and eventually decided I'm going to side with number 7, Royal Lithium, as my first choice selection in the 9th race in this Class 5 fillies and mares. I thought that was a very good last run when finishing second, is getting closer, and I thought over this course and distance, definitely in with a shout, because if you look at the form, you'll see that both the wins for Royal Lithium has come over the course and distance. So she gets my first choice selection ahead of number 5, Grow of Ice, who's dropped in the ratings, and I do think is one that could give the biggest cheek, is quite pacey and can be staying on at the business end of affairs. For third, I'm going with number 1, Easy Money. I think better than that last 2 runs. Back in Class 5 company, can pop up. And then for fourth, I'm going with number 9, Why Not Jackie, who will enjoy racing up a straight course again, and over the 1,200 meters could give them something to think about. So I'm going 7, 5, 1 and 9 as my selections in race number 9. And that's it for our midweek preview of racing at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. I trust it's going to be an enjoyable and profitable day for you. We've got Grade 1 action to look forward to on the weekend. And I do hope you find the winners, you hit them to end up in the winner's queue. From me, Rouvaun, until next time, you take care. Cheers for now.